Today's video, I'm going to advocate, I'm going to cajole, I may even beg for you to spend your savings in retirement, especially when you're younger and healthier. This topic is particularly raw for me right now. My mother-in-law, a wonderful woman who was like a second mother to me, just passed away. She'll be laid to rest tomorrow. Jill's father passed away just 10 short months ago. It's been jarring. She left an inheritance, not massive, but significant enough to make me reflect. She and Jill's dad could have spent more. They could have lived more fully. Turns out their financial plan had a 100% chance of success, but in reality, that also meant a 100% chance of underspending. They missed out on experiences they could have shared together or with us, and before long, it was too late. Hi, I'm Daryl Rosen, and I run a financial planning firm where my team and I help retirees find confidence, not just financially, but emotionally about retirement. A big part of my work is giving clients the peace of mind to enjoy their wealth. Just recently, I helped a client see how she could comfortably build a swimming pool at her new home in Florida. I'm hoping for an invite to test it out. And don't worry, even though I rock a tankini, I'll leave it at home. So here's how this video is arranged. First, a few stats on how widespread this money hoarding mentality actually is. Then a few reasons why I believe this to be the case. And finally, 5 suggestions on how you can get comfortable spending more money, especially when you're younger and healthier. Here are some sobering statistics. On average, across all wealth levels, most current retirees still had 80% of their pre-retirement savings almost 2 decades after retirement. Here's another one. Generally, retirees hold mixed feelings about spending down assets. Only 32% are comfortable spending down their assets. For many, it's more appealing to manage expenses in order to maintain or even build asset levels. People just don't want to tap into their savings to finance spending in retirement, especially those with high levels of assets who are very content to leave all or a significant amount of savings unspent. Here's another one. Only 1 in 4 feels they'll have to spend down principal at all to fund their desired lifestyle. For most, retirement is not a time to live it up. It's more important to feel financially secure. So why is this the case? I think people struggle with this for 3 reasons. The first is psychological attachment. Many people develop an attachment to their retirement savings. They view these savings as a symbol of financial security and a reward for their years of hard work and saving. Retirement savings are a badge of honor, or a scorecard, if you will. The thought of using these funds can trigger feelings of anxiety and insecurity, as to do so challenges the notion of having a safety net. Reason number 2, uncertainty about the future. People often feel uncertain about their future financial needs, particularly when it comes to healthcare expenses, unexpected emergencies, or an extended retirement period. Many people worry that drawing from their savings early in their retirement will leave them vulnerable or unprepared for potential future expenses, leading to a fear of running out of money later on. The last reason is loss of control. Actively using retirement savings can feel like a loss of control over one's financial situation. Throughout the working years, many individuals had a sense of control by saving and accumulating wealth. However, relying on savings for income can introduce a series of uncertainty and dependency on market fluctuations, returns, and overall financial management, which may be unsettling for some. I have 5 suggestions for you. The first thing I'd like you to do is shift your mental outlook. Tom Hegna is an expert in the retirement planning field. He loves to tell the following story about retirement typically playing out for people. How they resist the urge to buy the boat or take the trip or join the country club. Then, after they pass away and leave an inheritance, their children buy the boat or take the trip or join the country club. Very funny, right? Maybe not so much. Here's a good one. I read recently about a guy who left behind a considerable sum, and his immediate family quickly dove into a spending spree, luxury home renovations, new cars, and high-end vacations. It was a sharp contrast to how he had lived his own life, the worn-down house he lived in, the beat-up car he drove, and the budget trips he took frequently. The family splurge began almost as soon as the funeral ended and the will was read. I'm guessing you've heard stories like this. It's essential to realize that retirement savings are meant to be used to support your lifestyle during retirement, and that if you don't spend that money, your children will, when you're gone, without you. Seeing your savings as a resource to enhance your life rather than just a nest egg can make spending it feel a little easier. Embracing the idea that these funds are meant to support you in retirement can help you let go of the hesitation to use them. Repeat after me. If you don't spend it, they will. The second suggestion I have for you is to invest in health and relationships as a form of spending. I happen to be reading an excellent book right now called Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. Perkins emphasizes spending on things that truly enhance quality of life, such as health and relationships. He sees these as forms of investment that provide returns in the form of longevity, vitality, and meaningful connections. For example, spending on fitness, nutrition, or social experiences with loved ones has a far higher return on happiness than hoarding funds for an eventual inheritance. I gotta say, these words resonate with me, and here's why. This summer and fall, Jill and I have gotten back into riding our bikes together. We used to ride together frequently, but somehow we fell out of that habit. Since my knee surgery and the official end of my age group winter wannabe recreational running career, I've turned to the bike as my go-to activity. Now, you may be thinking, isn't this piece about spending your savings? What does riding a bike cost? Touché. But I do have my eye on a new bike, something a little lighter, sleeker, and faster. It's not a major expense, but it's meaningful to me. And what if next summer Jill and I decide to bike over to the Botanic Gardens, a beautiful spot with a small entrance fee? The experience would be worth every penny. My point here is that spending more doesn't mean you have to spend a fortune. It doesn't have to be a lavish biking tour through France or anything grand like that. It's about enjoying those small experiences that keep you active and connected. Here's my third suggestion: start small. In my research for this video, I stumbled upon a Reddit thread, which I summarized for you here. I've always lived below my means, and now that I'm retired, I'm supposed to spend freely, pay the bills, handle essentials, and then just enjoy the rest? But honestly, I can't do it. At the grocery store, I buy the same things. I still look for the deals and even shop at Dollar Tree. I tried a no-limits Amazon shopping spree and barely spent $500 before feeling like I was buying nonsense. It's not about the things being too expensive. I just don't want anything. The money just sits there piling up, and I'm left wondering if I'm missing something. This is so common, but this Redditor is spot on, and I love her approach. She's forcing herself to spend more money. If $500 is too much, start with $300. Let me use myself as an example one more time. I don't need to go all over the world to be happy. I live in a city with a spectacular lakefront, Chicago. A treat for me is to spend the weekend in the city. In fact, next summer, I want to do an Airbnb in the city to enjoy the lakefront, the restaurants, everything. So it could be dinner in a restaurant you might not regularly frequent. It could be a $20 tip to the local barista that might really need it. You don't have to get on an airplane to spend a bit more in retirement. Another easy option is to spend on services to make life a bit easier. One of my clients, after retiring, chose not to jet off to Europe, but instead hired a cleaner. Since her house is small and she'd be in the way, she takes that time to walk with an old friend at the local forest preserve. It's simple, but it gives her a little extra freedom and relaxation each week. Here's my fourth idea for you. Break your retirement and spending into time periods. This is a concept I strongly advocate for in retirement planning. You won't need all your money on day one, so you don't need to treat all your money the same. Here's what I mean. Every retirement plan starts with either a spending goal or an assessment of what your resources can adequately support. I prefer the latter because it aligns better with the goal of spending more when you're younger and healthier. But let's say you start with a spending goal in mind. A couple of things to consider. First, most people naturally spend less as they age. Setting healthcare aside, studies show people over 70 spend less than those aged 60 to 69, and those over 80 spend even less, a pattern known as the retirement spending smile. So most people spend less over time. And second, we can build higher spending levels in for a set period of time. Nearly every comprehensive plan I create includes a discretionary spending budget for the first 5 or 10 years of retirement. After that, the plan may not support the same level of spending, but the advantage here is avoiding the zone of regret. Let me explain. Because we're often cautious with money early in retirement, many of us have the means to spend more than we actually do. Later, reflecting on life, we may realize we could have enjoyed more but didn't due to health limitations. This is the zone of regret, and why we should plan for a higher level of spending, especially in the first 3 to 5 years of retirement, when you're best able to enjoy it. Here's the fifth and final suggestion. Get a disinterested, unemotional second opinion. Another book on my bookshelf is Retirement Reinvention, Make Your Next Act Your Best Act by Robin Ryan. She suggests that one way you overcome the fear of running out of money is to review your financial situation with a trusted advisor to determine a sustainable spending rate. This will help you increase confidence in spending money without constantly worrying about outliving your resources. You may remember that I started this video with a quick story about helping a client realize she could afford a swimming pool, a little splurge she hadn't considered possible. I wouldn't call the guidance I gave her disinterested or unemotional, but at the end of the day, it's her life and not mine. I have the benefit of coming in and looking at things objectively, often asking just a few questions and doing a quick mental calculation to see if a goal is possible. She couldn't see it that way because she's right in the thick of it. And most people, except maybe the ultra wealthy, constantly think about how long their money will last. Sometimes people just need a little permission. At the end of the day, up until this point in time, your knowledge about money is based on a phrase I call, you only know what you've been told. This simply means that your knowledge about money and your current financial situation is based on what someone has told you, such as an advisor, the internet, the radio, or friends and family. With all those sources of information, and you still have questions? A second opinion is an assessment of your current financial position by someone other than the individual who created your current situation. By definition, the individual who set up your plans until this point can't give you a second opinion. They were your first opinion. And I realize this might seem self-serving because I'm regularly paid for my opinion. But there are thousands of advisors out there. Choose one. Get some help. It doesn't mean you have to turn your money over to somebody. It just means you should pay somebody to give you a comprehensive plan, or at the very least some help that is tailored to your exact situation. Okay, now that you have a little more information about these important financial considerations, you're in a solid place to start making improvements to your retirement strategy. Of course, there's always more we couldn't cover here, so much more. If you'd like to see how our straightforward, flat-fee fiduciary planning approach could help your situation, just click the link in the description to book a consultation. Thanks for watching.